Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone in today's class for the first elementary grade. Our textbook is Week 1, and today, inshallah, we will cover Unit 4, Food. The lesson is Phonics, on page 32. This lesson will be presented by me, teacher Mazana Harbi, and the sign language by Mr. Fawaz Al-Agil. So let's begin. Before we start knowing our objectives for today's lesson, let's make a quick revision on our last lesson. In our last lesson, we got to know two important words. And these important words were the countable and the uncountable nouns, where we said that there are some words that are countable, which means we can count. And usually, these words that are countable usually ends with S. Like, for example, sandwiches and apples. Sandwiches, apples. So we said that if we can count a number of apples, then this is a countable word. We can say we have 4 sandwiches. We can say we have 3 apples. So these are countable nouns. So here we have uncountable words, words that we can't count. We can't count. Words like soup and word like rice. Rice. So we have soup and we have rice. So these are words that we can't count. So this is what we learned last time. And after this, we also learn how to count from 1 to 10. So if you remember this exercise, count fast from 1 to 10 and back. So what we did is we count from number 1 up to number 10. And also we count back from number 10 up to number 1. So have a look at this slide just to remind ourselves of the exercise we did last time. So have a look at this exercise. Here we have an orange and we have number 1. So number 1 with an orange is 1 orange. 1 orange. Say with me, 1 orange. So here we have apples and the number 2. What would we say in this case? We have number 2 and we have apples. So this is, or these are, 2 apples. 2 apples. Say with me, 2 apples. Very good. So here we have number 3 and pizzas. We have number 3 and pizzas. So number 3 with pizzas, these are 3 pizzas. 3 pizzas. Also, this is number 4. And these are sandwiches. So, number 4 with sandwiches, these are 4 sandwiches. 4 sandwiches. And here again, here we have number 5. And here we have carrots. So here we have number 5 and carrots. So number 5 with carrots, these are 5 carrots. 5 carrots. Very good. Now moving on to number 6. This is number 6 and these are onions. Number 6 and onions. So with these onions. And number 6, these are 6 onions. 6 onions. And here again, number 7. This is number 7, and these are bananas. These bananas with number 7. So we can say that these are 7 bananas. 7 bananas. And here we have number 8 with cherries. So these cherries with number 8, so we can say these are 8 cherries. 8 cherries. So number 9, these are cookies. And this is number 9. So number 9 with these cookies. Here we can say that these are 9 cookies. 9 cookies. And finally, here we have number 10 with potatoes. So here we can say we have 10 potatoes. 10 potatoes. So these were our lesson from last time, where we did learn how to use the countable words like sandwiches, apples, words that we can count. And also we learned words that we can't count, like soup and rice. And also we did learn last time is how to count from number 1 up to number 10 and back again. So our objectives in today's lesson, we hope that at the end of this lesson, you will be able to recognize and produce the sounds of the letters O, P, Q, and R and write them. So I would like you please to open your books on page 32. I would like you please to open your books on page 32. Now, on page 32, as you can see, we have a couple of words about a couple of animals and objects. What we're going to do now is that we're going to have a look at each picture, and we're going to say the name of this picture. So, I'm going to say the word, and I would like you to listen and repeat after me. So, let's listen for the first one. So the first word here we have is octopus. Octopus. This animal is called an octopus. Say with me. Octopus. Octopus. Very good. Octopus starts with O. Starts with the letter O. Now, let's get to know the second picture. So here, this is the second picture about this animal or this bird. So what we're going to do now is we're going to listen to how to say this word, and after this, you will say it with me. So the second one we have is parrot. Parrot. Say with me. Parrot. Parrot. So this bird is a parrot. Parrot. So parrot starts with P. Parrot starts with P. Now, let us move on to the third word. So this is a quilt. Quilt. Say with me. Quilt. Quilt. Quilt is a carpet that we have in our homes. So we usually, when we go in different rooms, we will see a carpet. So this is similar to the carpet, and we call it quilt. Quilt. Now, moving on to the last picture we have in our lesson for today, this is an animal. I am sure that you are familiar with this animal. This is a rabbit. Rabbit. Say with me, rabbit. Rabbit. Very good. We call this animal a rabbit. Now, let's remind ourselves with these animals and these words. And pay attention that these words starts with the letters that we are about to write. The letters are O, P, Q, and R. So, let's say these words again. You're going to listen, and I would like you to say it after me. So the first word is octopus. Octopus. Octopus starts with letter O. The second one is parrot. Parrot. Parrot starts with letter P. And we have quilt. Quilt. Quilt starts with the letter Q. And here we have rabbit. Rabbit. Rabbit starts with letter R. So here we go. These are the 4 important words we have for our lesson today. Now, let's move on to the fun part. What we're going to do now is that after learning about these letters and after knowing words about these letters, now it is time to trace and copy and also write these letters. So let's start, me and you, let's start tracing and copying these letters. So we will start with the first letter here, which is letter O. So all we have to do is we're going to trace letter O like this on our books. We're going to trace. We'll do it like this, just we can know or we can write it in a perfect way. So here we go. This is how we trace the letter O. Letter O from the word octopus. The word octopus. So here we go. We trace the letter 3 times, and after this what we will do is that we can copy it and write it ourselves. So we finished tracing. Now it is time that we write the letter ourselves. So after finishing from the tracing, now it is time to write down the letter ourselves. So try it, and before you write, it's important that you do the tracing. It is important that you do the tracing. So here you go. First, it's important to trace the letter, and after this, you took the freedom to write it on your own. Let's do the other letter. Let's try now to trace this letter and then after this to copy it and write it down. So here we have the letter P. The letter P from the word parrot. Parrot, parrot, an animal or a bird. So here we go. This is how we do trace the letter P. The letter P. So the first thing is that we do the tracing before we start to copy it or write it on our own. So do this on your books. Try to trace the letter like this. And when you finish tracing, it is time to start writing down the letter by yourselves. So it doesn't have to be very accurate. Just try the best you can. So here you go. We do trace these letters like this. And after this, it is time that we write the letter on our own like this. So we start drawing a line here, and this is how we write the letter P. P from the word parrot. Now, let us move on to the third letter. The third letter is Q. Is Q from the word quilt. Quilt, which is a carpet that we use in our homes. So this is how we write the letter Q. So all you have to do is to try to trace it first before you write. And after this, you try to copy it, to copy the letter, and then we can write it on our own. So here you go. This is the tracing we would like to do. And after this, we can go straight and write it on our own. So this is the letter Q. This is the letter Q. So after we did trace it, now it is time to write it on our own. So we can write it 2 times after we finish the tracing. We can write it 2 times after we finish the tracing. And now moving on to the last letter, which is letter R, from the word rabbit. Rabbit. So this is how we trace the letter R. We start drawing a line from up until down, and then we draw a circle like this, and then we complete the letter R. So like this, it's like writing letter B, but to continue letter B with the letter R. So this is the last letter from the word rabbit. So after we finish the tracing, we try to write it on our own, like this. This is the letter R. So we draw a line like this, and we make a small circle, and after this, we complete by writing letter R. So try this tracing. Trace the letters first, and after you trace them, try to copy them and write them on your own. So at the end of this lesson, it is important that you can make the sound of the letters O, P, Q, and R, and also write them again. So now we have reached the end of our lesson. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.